Welcome back to the Dev Plays Crucible of Avarice, Animate Tales Tabletop RPG, episode 38. We have the illustrious Juice playing Felix Fatigue, the ever-always naughty Sam playing as Aldous, the mysterious Inarke, played by Kane, and of course, Connor, who we will not say who he is playing. Hello, everyone.
Hello!
Is this the first time I've been called illustrious on this stream?
Yeah, you know what? So. Yes, it is. Okay, so, last episode, Inarke fought a guy called Frigismert and completely annihilated him. However, he did wear himself out using a strenuous form. Aldous was making a library the entire time. Felix killed Smithy to nobody's knowledge. And Fletcher...
Or shock.
It's ironic that you use the word shock, as Fletcher was electrocuted to death by a powerful individual claiming himself to be the quote-unquote Vault King. After the large electric shock had been administered, the giant lightning storm leftovers could be seen all throughout the city from this giant sort of tower of lightning. As an electrical storm was sort of almost created within that spot, almost like a shining beacon of plasma. Fergus spoke to Felix, informing him that Fletcher had died, and Felix had then sent Inarke the message telling him. After an hour or so, of recuperation and rest, Inarke was finally able to get back on his feet with the help of Pinky. They left the bar not long after, and they're currently still walking towards the location that they had originally stated that they were going to meet. We now come back to, funny enough, Inarke, you are now able to walk of your own, under your own strength again, as your strength has now finally and fully returned to you. You are walking alongside Pinky, and you have now met up with Aldous. Aldous, you have now just sort of finished the building of your, this library, like the rebuilding of this library. However, something did concern you as you saw like a large bolt of lightning, basically like as if the heavens had opened up themselves, but you were still too busy finishing this off.
I'm kind of making sure everyone was healed and not dead.
There are a few dead. There were a few dead on the scene.
I will make sure that they do not remain so.
I'm gonna have to say roll me 4... roll me 5 SP rolls to see if you do, and I think the roll requirement for that ability is a 25.
It'll be amazing if you can make it there where there's no casualties outside of Smithy.
Give me a sec and I will make sure, because I think it's only 20.
It might be, but I think it's 25. I might be wrong.
I mean, I'm just going to make sure, just because, considering Aldous and his luck and his absolutely terrible ability to not get anything.
I like to be Is it 20 plus? Awesome. Okay.
It is
5 d20s plus 15.
Do I have to say must equal 5?
So speeds, right?
So I need. So 3 people
you revive 3 of these people, but sadly 2 do perish. One because of a massive head wound, and one because there is barely anything left of them, as it seems as though they were right behind the wall that was punched by Felix. You were able to heal everyone else to a decent level, so that they could walk, so that they could, be fine and everything. However, a lot of the books, if not most of the books, are lost forever due to the fact that you had to turn them into large statues and large pillars and walls out of wood itself for it to, for the entire building to be able to lift all of the rubble up and off of people to create the shelter. But yes, you now sort of see Inarke as you sort of just finished healing up the last one. You see just Inarke walking up to you alongside Pinky.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what you've been doing this entire time, then?
Yes, it seems Felix has gone crazy. Just began attacking someone and then destroyed this library.
Yeah, I had the same thing from Fletcher.
Oh, did he manage to catch him?
I don't know, not from what I heard, although don't really think that matters too much now.
Why?
Well, because Fletcher got killed by some lightning user.
Killed?
Well, yeah. I don't know who they were, but apparently he got into a fight and died, and knowing his situation, we probably won't even be seeing his body anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, I was going to get round to telling him, but he kind of died on me, which is, he was never actually brought back properly. He was undead, brought back by Fergus. So Fergus probably has him now.
Can't we get him back?
There's a possibility. I have an idea about how he might be able to be brought back, but I don't really know. Certainly an idea.
Oh, what's the idea?
Well, we met someone in the Land of the Sunken Moon. A Phoenix user. He seemed to be very capable of bringing people back to life. He should be... Well, he might be able to bring him back. But I don't really know the limitations of his resurrection abilities, so... It's the only thing I can think of, anyway.
Relatively shocked by this. Just for him, it feels like 5 minutes ago. He was just talking to Fletcher about his feelings and stuff.
Even though that, I want to point out just for you, Aldous, this has been 2 hours since you last saw Fletcher. So in 2 hours, he has died. I mean, still a relatively small amount of time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, we must go find his body. Perhaps I can help him.
Well,
and if not, I can get this Phoenix.
I was actually going to say, the large bolt of lightning is actually only just down the road from here. So perhaps if it was the lightning user who used it, we might be able to find something.
Yes, he'll know. He would know about this.
I doubt that. Fine, we'll have a look, but don't be too sure on finding anything.
So you guys head off that way.
Yes.
And seriously, it's not that far away. It's about like 400 meters down the road. You turn a corner, and there's a massive crater in the road. You can feel there is some energy in the air itself. It feels weird. And I want to point out, it's so odd that, Anarche, your hair just goes up and starts going all frizzy. As if you've just gone past a Tesla ball. Pinky's hair starts going a little frizzy as well. And Aldous, do you have any hair? I actually forgot. Do you have? Yeah, you have art now, don't you, for your character?
Yeah. No, it's hidden underneath my hood. I do have a just kind of shortish brownish hair.
Ah, okay, fair enough. It starts going a bit frizzy. You can start feeling a strange attraction on the arm, the hairs on your arm and the hairs on your head and face. You sort of feel that sort of weird attraction of there's a lot of static in the air.
Can we see who is the cause of this?
You don't see anyone there.
Can I?
I'll head down into the crater, or at least look down into the crater to see if there's anything in there.
There seems to be some scorched stuff at the bottom of it. It's not too deep. it's about maybe like 3-4 meters deep. It is, pretty deep, but but it does slope down pretty well. So it's easy to get in there safely without needing any extra abilities.
Yeah, Anarchy will hop into the crater.
Can I time sense the crater to see how far back it was and to see what caused it?
Okay. For this, I'm going to say yes, although depending on how good your roll is will depend on how decent the time that you'll be able to look back in. Ooh, okay. A D4, it can go up to a D4 of hours rather than a D4 of minutes.
No, I think it's just an hour. It's going to be up to 1 hour in the past.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, no, it's...
Yeah.
Is it Remnants?
Yeah, no,
It's Remnant to get that specific ability.
Well, either way,
I can just get into the past an hour.
Either way, yeah, you can... Yeah, that's perfect. So as you look back in time, you see the fight that incurs. This random dude, like, covered in these strange sort of, like, robes and clothing, gets just smashed out of this like, store right in front of this place. And it's actually in front of Fletcher, because he's just walking down the road. And he gets flung out of this guy gets flung out of this store and sort of just starts screaming, "Do you have any idea who I am? I am the Vault King. I am currently looking for someone of great worth. You there?" And he points over to Fletcher and he says, "Do you know anyone who has any of those red bands? I need to take one." And then the discussion begins to get a little bit more volatile until eventually he challenges Fletcher to a fight. The two of them then incur a battle, and it becomes then apparent that this individual has lightning mimicry. But there's something weird about his lightning mimicry, as he is able to point at the ground, and the ground then begins to transform into electricity beneath Fletcher's feet. He keeps doing this and then making big preposterous claims that he is of royalty and regal power, and that he is the Vault King, the king of electricity, and all this stuff. And eventually, one of the last things that he says during the fight, as he seems to knock Fletcher down, he then says, "Okay, that's done." And Fletcher then sort of gets back up and staggers, as there's almost a strange look in his eye, as it seems as though that, like, it's not necessarily head empty, but head empty of any sympathy. It almost seems as though instincts have kicked in, as he then begins talking in a much more whispered but aggressive voice, and he begins attacking the Vault King again and again and again, still taking damage throughout this entire time, his clothes being scorched, his items being like cracked and popped and melted through each and every individual attack, until eventually he takes his staff and attempts to attack the Vault King one last time. He grabs a large amount of the electricity that he has within his possession. He then states that this electricity will destroy everything! And as he then collides it against Fletcher, he just immediately is just covered in this white light that is almost impossible to see even the silhouette of him. And for just a second, you could have sworn that you heard a voice call out, that same voice just saying the word, "Rakia." The lightning eventually fades in a thunderclap that destroys all of the glass on every single building within a good, 20 to 40 meter radius outside of the radius of the blast, meaning anywhere between basically a 60-meter radius. Every window is just shattered. It finally ends. The light goes. There's still plasma and lightning sparking around this area. The lightning begins to reform the man in front of this crater and sees the dead body, but despite the burns all over it, and despite the scorch marks through the tattered clothes, and the molten wreckage of what could have been and would have been his weapons, the Vault King's left arm glows red, showing 501 points. He then says, "I'm sorry, but you know how it is. After all, royalty will win in the end. You were a good fighter to the very end, and I would recognize your strength. But it is time. I must be going. I have greater heights to achieve. He then disappears as he turns into a single bolt of lightning and launches up into the sky, following the trail of electricity that he created up, and thus forth the beacon. You then see a portal open behind Fletcher, and him then just sort of levitate off of the ground and then just be swallowed up by the portal.
I will make sure to essentially dictate what you just said to Anake.
Okay. Anake, you... No, go on.
Sorry. So, Fergus did get him in the end, then.
Yes. But now we must get him back.
Yeah, good luck convincing Felix.
Surely he must agree with us, he's our friend.
Yes, and he's also a man who constantly puts himself in debt.
Perhaps we shouldn't... Aldous, looks at you and looks to Pinky and then, nods his head towards you to, indicate maybe just the duo of talking.
Anake, you notice a large amount of warmth on the rocks that you're standing on. And again, I know that you're not barefoot, but you can feel the heat emanating from the rocks, considering that this lightning was of intense heat. But you notice some molten slag that is sort of melted, but it's now starting to harden. It's no longer glowing red, but you can tell that if you were to try to touch this metal, you would burn yourself. But it seems as though it's pieces of actually almost iron chunks, iron bars and stuff that have just completely molten into different segmented, destroyed chunks.
Well, I'm just going to use Aura Sense quickly to see if not necessarily looking for anyone specific, but more just seeing if there's any people around. Because like you said, all the windows around have been shattered and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I assume other buildings around this have also been damaged to some degree.
Fair enough. Roll for it.
Yeah.
I think that's up to 4 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. You sense a lot of life forms in the buildings, including the one in the store who threw this individual out. You also notice that some people are actually, coming to see, and there's actually a swarm of people that are actually coming down the road, what seem to be in vehicles. They're about... What's your range again?
400 at this point.
Okay, yeah, they've just about entered the 350 point.
Hey, Pinky. Would you mind telling everyone around here that it's alright?
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of the people around here are still panicky. So, it'd probably be best to let them know that they're safe now.
Right. She then just cups her hands and then screams out loud, she just yells, I know that you're scared, but do not be afraid. The fighting is over. You're safe now. It echoes within this cold, distant area, almost as if it's empty. I want to point out to you, Aldous, this entire place just seems like a ghost town. To Anake,
I mean,
it's obvious that
I know. Did Anake notice my gesture of I want to talk to him alone?
Yeah, while she's doing that, I'll sort of trail a bit of a distance away with Aldous.
Beforehand, I'd like you, because you've sensed this energy, I'd like you to roll me an insight with advantage, Anake.
Okay. 13.
You notice that there's a certain level of calmness in the auras of these people when they hear her words. They are calming down. Some of them are even now moving outside of their houses very slowly just to have a look. But whilst this is going, she notices that like you're sort of like getting out of the crater. Sort of like, offers her hand to try and help you.
I'll get up and go. I need to speak to Aldous quickly.
Okay.
I'll walk away with Aldous, just kind of out of earshot.
Fair.
Oh, thinky.
Now, you know how Felix might not agree with us attacking and reclaiming Fletcher because it's to do with Fergus.
Right.
Should it be something that we do by ourselves, do you think?
Well, that's a difficult one. First of all, we have no lead to where Fergus could be at this point. Felix is the only one who has the ability to contact him.
Yes, but considering everything that's happened to Felix, shit, got him to.
Finally,
it is
not
spreading.
me. It's not me.
It's the Q disease.
38 episodes.
It's spreading.
Anyway.
Oh no, it's spreading.
Anyway, I really hope your character doesn't begin with an FL or F. Anyway,
Fletcher's legacy lives on.
My name is. It's that moment where you just for a troll, you change your character's name. My name is Felixandro.
In before you realize Felix's middle name is Fletcher.
Felix Fletcher Fatigue.
Anyway, maybe considering how Felix acted there and how destructive he was, perhaps it's best. We don't have a lead now. Perhaps we'll get one tonight.
Right.
And he kind of semi-smile. He smiles.
Right, and as good as that possibility is, what? So we just leave? You really think that's a good idea?
Not necessarily leave. We might try and track down that lightning man first.
What? And do what exactly? I doubt he has any information worthwhile.
Will we stop him
Why?
from hurting others? He killed Fletcher. Our
Right.
companion.
I get that. Not sound like a complete arsehole here. But I've killed many other people, so what difference does that make me? I've done it to people who probably have friends and family. I'm not just suddenly gonna go on some big hunt to kill this one person. Don't get me wrong. Sucks that Fletcher died, but I'm not suddenly gonna go on a revenge plot here.
Perhaps you're right.
Besides, I'm sure he'll probably come to us anyway, knowing how this tournament works.
Most likely.
So I wouldn't really bother worrying about hunting him down. And besides, I feel like that's more of a Rakia thing that we'll get dragged into anyway.
You just see all this frown slightly at that.
So the only issue we have is that I have no idea what's going on with Fletcher. Well, yeah, Felix, I fucked it up now.
It's spreading.
I've
You should name this episode "No One Knows Anyone's Names."
yeah.
Felix Fletcher. Who's
Right.
who?
Who's who?
Dude.
Anarche just goes, anyway, Anarche, I mean
Anyway.
Aldous.
Yeah. Anyway, me. My point is, it's probably not if we stay around Felix, we're probably more likely going to get what we want. And at this point, anyway, I also have a feeling that would be better for us. Not because of strength or anything, but if we stay as a group, it also gives us more of an in with with who we're hunting. Considering I'm pretty sure he wants to make a deal with all of us to get us in a constant flow under his pocket, you see. That, and he probably wants bodies. Which sounds really, like, weird when you say it without the context.
He wants our bodies?
Yeah, well, because, he can then reanimate us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right.
But if we do find a lead, will you assist me?
Sure. Although, I've apparently got one other person I need to look after, so I'll gesture over to Pinky. She's not weak by any means, but she's not that strong, so need to just be careful we don't throw her into too many ongoing situations.
No, I didn't imagine she'd be coming with us if we were to attack and reclaim Fletcher.
Maybe, I don't know yet.
But no, hopefully
But-
tonight we will get a clue.
Maybe. Well, for now we'll leave it and see how things develop. Also, yeah, the cops are coming, by the way.
By the way, I want to point out that you just, as you say, by the way, I think the cops are... You then just hear, like, running as you sort of turn around, and you notice that Pinky's just, like, running up to you guys, the enforcers are here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I think it's time to depart.
Yes, definitely.
Alright, let's go then. I'll just open a phase portal out to the outside of Ten's facility, not in it.
Ah, he's learning. He's
Yeah,
learning.
I'm learning.
Yeah, you do so. As we come back now to Felix. Felix, you sort of still are standing outside of the facility, because you're still looking at the sort of the beacon of light. It's been about like 20 to 30 minutes since Fergus has sort of disappeared.
Any reply from 10 about the information Fergus wanted? Through the text, or...
10 does actually come outside to speak to you, actually. As he just walk outside and he just says, he comes up to you sort of with his hands behind his back, and he then just says, "So, I take it that would mean that Fletcher is now, well, no longer under your party?"
Felix will nod.
It's a shame. Phasers can be quite useful for infiltration. The irony of you not being able to have him now when you need to find something that potentially is deeply buried.
There's always an extra step.
You're looking for something. You asked me a question on the first supervillain and where he might be held.
Correct.
I'm afraid that kind of knowledge is incredibly dangerous, and for me to give it to you would be of a great danger to the entirety of humanity and all of Huskonian kind. The world could be put in danger if such a force was to be realized yet again.
I know. You are not obligated to give me this information.
Nevertheless, I am within your debt, and you are within mine. One might think that is cancelled. But at the same time, I have grown to consider you a friend.
Likewise.
I would
Obviously,
not... Go ahead.
Obviously, if we do get this information and Fergus gets a hold of it, we will have to put Fergus down, to put it simply. Which will be an issue in its own right.
I'm not even sure if he was able to revive such a monster if putting him down would be possible anymore.
Fair.
But I'm assuming that you are indebted to this individual, one way or another.
Correct.
Then I cannot let a friend go without a favor. According to recent divulgences of history, and me looking through previous accords, I was able to stumble across some information. After all, I'm assuming that he knew to ask me, due to my advanced age.
Indeed.
Did you just admit to calling me old, Felix?
No, I admitted to it.
I'm kidding. I am over 100 years old. You don't have to try and mollycoddle me with some small gesture talk. Yes, I was alive when this individual was claimed to be the first supervillain of Iris City. Yes, I know rough informations of to where he was kept, but I do not know the exact location. According to which, he was either held in a certain government facility, or he was actually placed in a gravesite of his original homeland. I don't know if I believe that, considering his original homeland is Iris City, but if he was to be buried anywhere, it would make sense that he would have been buried in Garrison. This is because that he was near Garrison's maximum security prison upon the moment of his death. So in other words, you have two locations. I do know of his rough birth site, supposedly. He then sort of shows you like a part on a map on his phone. It's a town just outside of Iris City. But I warn you, this is no easy task. For you to suddenly ask of a question like this, it's not going to be easy to find him.
I know.
That being said, there is some place that you might be able to find. The Garrison Zeta-Max prison is known for its security. However, 20 years ago, certain individuals not only broke into the facility, but broke about 3 or 4 individuals out. That would mean that the security prison has been on complete lock and key for the last 20 or so years. But it is not impregnable, nor is it impossible to break out of. Which means some of them may have known him, or some of them may have been alive. So you have a few answers. Garrison or Iris City. I'm afraid there is one other possibility, and that is that he was buried somewhere within near the prison's grounds. There is a place known as the Great Graveyard, where they eventually dig holes in an underground facility and lock away the prisoners. When they say in the Zeta-Max prison, nobody gets out, even death is not that exception. If an individual dies, they are locked in within specifically strained caskets, never to be seen by the light of day ever again. It is known as the Maximum Security Crypt. They're not exactly clever with these names, but still rather fitting, wouldn't you say?
Felix will nod.
I would say that potentially could be your best efforts, even though he wasn't exactly necessarily within this location when he died. They might have still put him in there. On the brightest of sides, the Maximum Security Crypt is a different building altogether. It is connected to the prison, though. There is only 2 ways in and out. One, up top, on ground level, and another is the only way to get in through the prison. So, at the very least, you have that possibility. But as I said, without any information, you might be just stumbling into a government facility, only to wind up in a very, very dangerous situation. However, I warn you, you best pray that he is not in that maximum security crypt.
Yeah, truly.
If Fergus was to be able to gain access to a facility such as that, it's not just Lord that you'd have to be concerned of.
That is very fair.
There are a few individuals that have gone there. I know of 2 that may be able to help you with some knowledge of the Zetamax prison. One of which actually was a prisoner here, but broke out about, funnily enough, 2 months ago. And the other, supposedly helped by that individual. Sadly, the other ones that would have answered are now currently dead. He then shows you a list of the 3 people. It shows you the natural disaster Toxin, the natural disaster Talos, and then it shows you Bartholomew Bones. X's are over both Toxin and Talos' faces, but not against Bartholomew Bones. The individual that he captured is this. It then shows you like a really creepy looking monstrous Huskonian with big teeth and sort of like a blackened face. Its eyes are sort of like red stripes over its face, and giant wings, and a really creepy muscular and skeletal structure with the nickname Demon.
Creative.
Well, that's the name that he chose for himself, apparently. But, if this is anything to go by, supposedly he was broken out of Huskonian prison about 2 months ago by, supposedly, an individual of walking, talking skeletons. Sound like an MO?
Indeed it does.
I don't like to believe in coincidences, but this is all too fitting. Nevertheless, you have a list of interesting different possibilities, and suggest that you think on them.
I will. Obviously, I will have to talk to the other members still remaining in the party. I can't expect them to want to help with this.
That is entirely fair and up to you. I'm going to go back inside now. You come in whenever you feel like it.
Felix will nod.
He leaves. The doors close, and you sort of are left standing there, again watching. The electric light show that is going on is beginning to start fading, but the clouds are still there. Up in the distance.
I feel like at this point, Felix is just waiting for the party to return. Maybe sitting down, meditating a bit, getting his stockpile up again.
I guess roll either willpower of the mind or roll nerve.
I'll just. Mine would be plus 10, so I should probably do it.
Oh man, I could have never seen that coming.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
It's then a D10. Cool.
You're up to 9 because you emptied it last time, but you also got a 5 from the time.
Yeah.
As you sort of like sitting there meditating, you then sort of hear like a very strange sort of laser cutting noise as you sort of open your eyes, and you just see like a white sparking portal open in front of you. As Aldous, Pinky, the girl that you met earlier, and Anarche step through it. The portal then closes behind them.
Felix will stand up. Welcome back.
Well, indeed. So,
What happened? Why do you go on such a spree?
I've really lost myself a bit. You know me, forced to kill several individuals. Is everything all right? In the town. I assume you were all over there.
Wait, that was you?
Well, not the
are-
lightning, but
The library. That wasn't... People died. People were hurt. There are people who have probably lost more than just a job or trust ever again to be outside.
I know.
And you say it because you were forced? You didn't look very
Pinky.
forced.
That's enough.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. So, I assume you've gotten yourself into something again?
Indeed, I have. As Fergus, our dear friend Fergus, clearly, wants some information on a dead individual. If he gets this information, he will probably be unstoppable.
And who is this dead person exactly?
Let me scroll down and see if I wrote the name in my notes. I believe he was just called Lord.
Yes, the Lord, the first supervillain.
I have some leads. If we can lure him in, stop him before he gets lured, I feel like that is our best course of action.
Right. And so, quick question. Do you have any knowledge on how his reanimation works?
I do not. Power-wise, should I make like a power knowledge check?
Yes, you
I do
can
that as well.
be. I'm gonna say Aldous, yours is gonna be with disadvantage only because you've not really seen it.
I mean, wasn't I there with? I just remembered. Wasn't I there for the? I mean, I wasn't there, but Aldous was there for the reanimation bit. Actually, no. There was a reason I didn't. Never mind.
I was gonna say, I
Got it.
Yeah.
10.
No
I
one's
mean,
no one's being reanimated in your presence.
That's a 10.
okay, and another 10. You know that it's
10,
reanimation.
10 and Tundra.
But you don't really know what the factors to it are. All you assume is that he can bring them back and use their abilities, but it doesn't seem, because again, like this is something that you have noticed, the both of you, when seeing the undead that he has. You've never seen him bring a dead being back and use them. You've only seen them just be already in and under his control. But they seem as though they cannot talk, or they do not talk. They don't have a will of their own, and they seem to be able to still use all of the functions, abilities, and skills that they have used before. But you have no idea what the limitations to the power is, nor do you have any idea as to what factors there are. And now thanks to Anarche's confirmation, Aldous, you're even more confused, because if that's the case, how come Fletcher was still able to speak and have his own personality and will?
Yeah.
So if
Must be
anything,
one of his.
you're confused.
Perhaps it's one of the tattoos he has. We should also have to test them all.
So, what I'm hearing is, you want to go and hunt someone down with absolutely zero actual knowledge on how we could possibly combat them. I'm not saying this because I'm concerned of his strength. It's just foolish to do something like this when, if you think about it, we're the ones who have complete control over the time in this situation. He's relying on us to find this information out. And I'm sure he's got other people he probably has working for him too, but let's be honest, you're his main deal. You're the one he has most pride in having under his thumb.
Yes, but the thing is, though, is that the longer we wait, the more powers he will accumulate.
True,
And I can
but the
prove this
greater
to you.
understanding we have, the more we have against him.
What?
You
How
find
will
the
I have a
body
greater-
we destroy the body, he can no longer get that power, I would assume.
Yes, but how will we have a greater understanding by waiting around?
Well, 10 seems to have a fascination with powers, does he not? Maybe he knows.
10 has
Shall we
given
become
me some leads.
And we are
Probably-
becoming it.
I get you're eager, both of you, to do this down, but trust me, from experience of doing a lot of this before in this hunting process, you have to be a bit more patient. As much as I hate doing this part of the work, it's the most boring part. Information gathering is indeed what's come first. Again, we have the advantage over him in this situation. Don't waste it by being impatient.
Fair. I still would
So-
like to, relay the options we have for searching for the body when the time comes.
That's fine.
Hmm.
So, if you told your wife you're gonna have to leave again,
I have not yet.
I recommend you do that. While you do that, I'll discuss some things with 10.
Fair enough.
What are we discussing, guys?
Just turn my head.
Turn.
You see a battered, bandaged, burnt rag-covered individual behind you, or now, since you've all turned, in front of you.
Why are you guys looking at me? You almost look like you've seen a ghost.
So he decides to resurrect you again, huh?
Yep. And now I know everything.
Yeah. Was meaning to get around to telling you that.
I don't blame you for not telling me sooner.
Well,
Who wants
be
to
honest,
find out they've been dead?
true. Although I only really understood once my brother gave me some form of insight.
Ah, that's what you guys were talking about.
Yeah. He has a better sense of that sort of thing than I do.
Fair enough.
Well, I have some questions to do, so you can speed them up, and I'll just walk inside.
I want to
will
point out,
first things first.
Pinky is like her eyes are widened and like her eyes are almost teary. Like she was like looking back at you, looking back at him. Like, can we not discuss this sort of look? And then you just walk in. She's like, what?
I mean, we've only met her for like less than 3 hours. Who knows?
Oh yeah, you guys have. I've spent basically the majority of my day with her, and that's
Yeah,
about
she
it.
she just doesn't understand. It's like, yeah, this is a guy that we've known for a long time. He's just died. Ah, okay, we need to plan. Yeah, let's kill whoever fucking did it. Yeah, and then suddenly it's just this moment of like, oh, he's back. Okay, so he did it. Anyway, never mind. And she's just because again, it's more the nonchalance of an arcade. Because again, like she doesn't know you guys at all, especially not really that much an arcade anyway. But
I mean,
Well,
Felix had headed in before Fletcher even announced himself, so I don't think Felix knows at this current moment.
I know
Well,
Felix is still there. Like he's.
Is he? I said he went inside.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right before.
Oh no! So as in you've been stopped going inside before this has happened. Like this is my point.
Okay.
Well, I shall attempt to heal Fletcher, so that he's no longer covered in bandage and burns.
I mean, do you go over to him and attempt to heal him?
I mean, probably just from where I'm standing,
Oh, okay.
because I'm a bit somewhat in shock
Roll
at
for
this
it.
sudden. And I will use Advanced Regeneration, Joe,
Okay.
because I have to
I mean,
say
with
that
my
first.
It doesn't work.
with my
Sam.
ability.
Ah,
Oh
I
no!
know.
For some reason,
I know.
you attempt to use it and it doesn't do anything.
How? Yes. Because he's dead.
Undead.
Yeah.
Dead.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if I am a ghost with my abilities. That is. But anyway, so we helping Felix find Lord.
Yes, it seems
Guys.
so.
Oh, good. That works out for me.
Pretty much all this is just going to kind of go over and just kind of, now that the shock has somewhat worn off, just kind of get a look at him to see what undead looks like.
I mean, his flesh is covered in the scorches and the burns from that lightning. It does look paler than it should be, but, you know, it feels cold. It does not feel warm like a normal
I mean, I'm not
body
feeling
should.
him.
Oh, well, in that case, never mind. Like, that's all that
You're
you
I'm
can
not
see.
looking at him. I'm not.
You
All of
know,
them just like touching the burned body.
He looks paler, and he looks like as if he's covered in burns. There we go.
Does it look like the burns are healing by themselves?
No,
Or do they look like they're never going to heal?
no, but they do look superficial.
Hmm.
They look more cosmetic than anything specific. They look like as if they've been scarred for a few years rather than something that has just happened, I don't know, less than 2 hours ago.
Give or take.
Fletcher, can I try something?
Yeah, sure. What do you got in your mind?
I will attempt to use Hand on Heart on him.
Okay.
And before you say, it doesn't have a time limit for when they're dead.
Yeah, but it doesn't work on the dead, like on the long dead.
It doesn't say that.
It also
You mean
doesn't
the
work
undead?
on undead either.
Yeah, but then
Because
I mean,
your ability literally states it cannot work on dead flesh. Like,
no, I know, but user must roll 20 to bring a creature back to life. However, the creature being must be organic and must have most of their body intact, as well as a heart and brain.
Yeah.
It does not say anything about undead.
it
or...
doesn't work on undead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how biological manipulation works. It doesn't work on the dead.
Connor has learnt this
The
the hard
undead.
way as well.
No, I get that, but like this is I'm assuming this works on the dead, that is the point of Hand on Heart, is to revive the dead.
I mean, not the long
Yes,
dead
maybe
or
not.
the undead.
It doesn't work on necrotic flesh, which is under its weaknesses, and assuming that he has been dead for a while.
Yes.
I would
I've been
make sure I would
for
add that
10
to
days.
I would add that to the ability, just because it, from what it says, it could be any time, literally,
Fair enough.
as long as they have most of their flesh there and
Fair
the
enough.
brain and the heart.
It's supposed to be flesh that is not necrotic, but I will
Yeah,
add that.
it-
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I mean, it literally just says must be organic.
yeah,
Like,
it
I
does.
mean-
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
Although
it's
again,
very open
Sam,
to
it does
interpretation.
state your weaknesses anyway. Fair enough. I need to maybe specify it a little bit more. But yeah, no, I will do that. But yes,
Alright.
that is always
Well,
how
I
it's
will-
worked. But fair enough.
Yeah, just because, but you know, just for whenever, for future reference, because we're beta testing.
Yep.
Yeah. I will do it, and this will
Retarians.
fail.
Yeah.
Unless
no,
you want me to roll for it.
I mean, you can roll for it anyway, just to see, because again, your character probably wouldn't be in the greatest knowledge of it if he fails it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You feel your powers activate, and you feel like this ability activate on him, but it doesn't do anything.
I'm not feeling anything. Was that meant to do something?
Yes.
Oh well. Well, we got things to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Felix, do you say anything to this?
No, I think Felix just turns back and walks inside. He's gotta go say goodbye to his wife and kids for the time.
Fair.
You know.
Well, since that happens, Aldous, Pinky, and Fletcher, I assume that you just walk in. Do either of you say anything to each other? I want to point out, Pinky is still staring at you, Fletcher.
Oh hey, you're still here. Nice things.
She does not answer, but she is definitely, like, a little bit weirded out by you.
What? Do I have something on my face?
You're still here.
Well, you can't keep an undead warrior down.
She still looks at you, like, as if that clarified nothing.
Do you know how he did it?
Oh yeah, he told me everything. He has two different types of control over the undead. He has the usual zombie-like dead, and then he has a technique he's been experimenting on, which is me.
Which
I'm
is...
still fully autonomous.
Hmm.
And from the way he said it, it doesn't take up any of his normal undead slots.
It has slots?
Yeah, I think he said he can only control so many undead at a time before it starts to overwhelm him. But with the way I am currently, it's not a strain on him.
Can I now roll to see if I know what this power sounds like?
I mean, you already know that it's reanimation, but
Yeah, but the fact that it's something to do with there being a number of people you can reanimate at a time and control.
again, that doesn't sound like anything any different than reanimation.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you can roll, but you'd have to be more specific as to what kind of thing that you want to gather from this.
You see, what kind of technique it would be that would bring someone back to life undead? Even considering to keep them with intelligence.
I mean, I guess you could roll for the power knowledge, I guess. 19. You... It sounds like just, what you've heard of from reanimation. That the fact that, reanimation users are exactly like effigy animation users. They can create puppets out of all of these different, statues or or dead bodies and turn them into undead and stuff like that. Once they're done, they have a certain level of, stuff that they are told to do. They have the abilities to do on their own and stuff like that. But you've heard of some being given a level of autonomy, but in the terms of the undead, the fact that he can give an undead their whole will back without it taking up its slot, it just sounds like as if he has the ability to reanimate him. That's it. He's isn't under his control. That means that Fletcher is not under his direct control, thanks to the powers of reanimation, because again, he's been given free will and autonomy. He's also not one of his minions. In other words, he's not controlling him, because just like effigy users, reanimation users are cut from the same stem, meaning that they have the exact same limitations. They have a limitation of how many effigies that they are able to control at a time. Therefore, if this is reanimating him without him being under one of these undead slots or under his, or even meaning that it doesn't increase his maximum amount of undead that are under his control, that means that technically Fletcher is not under his direct control.
That's somewhat comforting, I think.
But again, this is stuff that you are thinking of. You haven't vocabularized this.
No, I don't think I will yet, because I don't want to give him false hope, because I could be wrong here. Considering the many ways of animate, I don't know how all of it works. Could be anything for...
You eventually get in through the doors and everything. Felix, you've gone off, to speak to your wife. Anarche, you've gone off to go see Ten. And you two... alongside Pinky. Where exactly are you going?
Yeah.
To go teach the kids the good word of anime.
No, I'm probably gonna go to the library and kind of both meditate and then level up my stones.
Library. Okay.
Hey, library's a good place to meditate.
So the one that Felix broke down? Or...
No.
No.
You mean the one near... Because he does.
Yeah, I mean,
Ten actually does have a library inside of his facility.
Yeah. Remember, that's where we were for most of the last session I was in. And can I roll to level up my stone?
Your ability to level up your stone. What is it? Is it a new skill? Because you used it in this same day, by the way.
It is, yes.
So you won't be able to use it until a short rest.
Okay, well, I will take a short rest by meditating in the library then.
Well, we don't know how much time that we're taking, so you're
Well-
just in the library for now.
Yes, I will do that then.
Fletcher, what about yourself?
Fletcher will do what everyone is expecting of him and go hang out with Rakia.
Okay, well, we'll come to you in a second. Felix, you go off and you speak to Lily. Do you have it that the kids and the in-laws are with you, or do you have it that you just speak to her in private?
I'd probably speak to her in private and then speak to the kids and in-laws separately.
Fair enough.
Unless they're like already in there, then you know.
I was going to say I was thinking of having it where they're all in there and just like all of them are just sort of like sat around and just like, you know, the kids are telling their mum all of this stuff that she's missed over like the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and the in-laws are also just in there, just sort of like sitting, looking incredibly happy. The father-in-law is sort of like, you know, just sort of like wiping his eyes with tears and just like sort of blowing his nose in a tissue.
Felix will enter the room.
I want to point out there's still some stains of blood on your like sleeves and stuff.
It's strawberry jam. You know, he's washed it off as best as. Would it be fair to say Felix had enough time to change?
I'm gonna say.
He was-
I'm gonna say you've had enough time, but we've never stated that you did that.
Okay, you know, hindsight's 20/20. Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam.
If anyone asks.
Yum.
So you walk in. The kids are sort of like jumping up and down on Lily's bed and telling her all of these stories, and then they like look over at you, and then they're like screaming at you to come over there and like sort of like, you know, listen to their stories and like talk to mum and everything like that.
Yeah, of course Felix will go over there. He'll make sure he's not wearing his gauntlets and everything.
Oh no, you definitely you've put the knuckle dusters away in the pockets. You know.
Yeah, because they fit in my pockets. Yes.
Yes, they do.
And he will sit down in a side chair and be listening to the kids' stories. You know, laughing along with them. Letting them have their merry time, letting them chat.
I want you to roll me a nerve.
Okay. $17.
This is a profound moment that you never thought that you'd have. In this moment, you realise that, you know, this is something that you've been working towards for the last 2, maybe more years, and this is something that you have been striving for. You've, you know, gone through, you know, the blood, the sweat, and the tears, quite literally, to get to this moment, and it's less about the things that you've done, but it's more about the things that you now have to do, that you feel so close, and now because of what's about to come to this, you now feel like as if it's so far, like as if your life with this family is now going to be a yo-yo, because you've had your ups and you've had your downs, you're so close to them now, and now you're about to be pulled back out. And in this moment, you think that all you want to do is hold them tight, cry the last words that you might ever get to say to them, and tell them how you feel. But instead, you continue laughing at their story. You continue smiling. You continue looking back at their mother, and you continue just looking at them, recognizing everything about their faces and trying to remember every detail about this moment. You don't ruin their happiness, because you don't know when the next time that you'll see them. You maintain your nerve. You wait for them to finish. And you do not say a single word to them that would stop them from having their time with their mum and dad. They come to the end of their stories, and they seem as though they're quite tired out. And again, they just start like lying down into their mother's sides, and sort of cuddling up to her.
Lily, with the tournament going on, it's not completely safe for me to be around here due to being in the tournament.
You don't have to say anything. I knew that you were going to tell me this. You've become a different man than you were before. And I'm not saying that that man is bad. But I know that if people are going to come after us, the best thing that you can do is either win or survive until someone else does. You better come back to me. And in one piece, you got that?
Felix will put his hands on Lily's hands. I promise you, I will return in as many pieces as I can manage.
She then smiles as her eyes begin to tear up. And she then says, "Look at you. You've become so much different. You've gotten stronger, you've gotten faster, and you've become so determined. I've no doubt that you won't come back to me in anything less than the man that I married."
Felix will nod and he will lean down and give Lily a kiss.
The kids sort of open their eyes and go, "Ah, gross," and just sort of ruin the whole moment. The entire family just laughs. The grandparents laugh. Obviously Lily laughs. As we now come to Anarche. Anarche, you have gone into a room where you have been informed that is where 10 is. He seems to be leaning over something and typing in on a computer.
10, you don't mind if I borrow your attention for a bit, do you?
Attention, perhaps. He then turns around on his swivel chair. What seems to be the problem, Anarche?
How much of an... You seemed pretty knowledgeable when it comes to abilities, at least from the small conversation we had.
You could say that. I could also say that you have understood a little bit about what my daughter is trying to accomplish with your little, conversation.
Yes. Well... Reanimation. How does it work exactly?
You're asking about this because of Fergus, aren't you?
Yes. I'm sure you can put what I plan to do together.
Very well. What exactly are you trying to find out?
Well, what requirements does he need to meet to reanimate someone? And in that aspect, what limitations does he have when it comes to reanimating people?
It's quite impressive. I wouldn't have imagined a brawler such as yourself being so curious about the finer factors of a person's abilities. But I can see that you're trying to look for weaknesses, so perhaps I shouldn't get my hopes up. I can tell you everything from the start to the finish. Reanimation was an ability that I did find quite fascinating in my early 50s. But, yes, I have documents. Let me get them up. He begins typing, and then eventually it sort of lines up and everything. He then looks and reads through them very quickly. Based on what I've written here, I was able to find 3 different documented usages of reanimation and effigy animation. There are a few different accounts of them, but one of my children was actually infused with a certain aspect of it. The particular ability in question allows the user to give psychic energies to an object that is somewhat reminiscent of a living creature. Whether it be made out of stone, plastic, or even mineral, it then begins to be able to move on its own account, with the physical strength and physical capabilities of whatever particular material it's made from. However, reanimation users do not have such an issue. They just bring a dead body back to life, or at least it seems that way. There are 2 different functionalities to the ability. But you're asking about what are its limitations. There are 2. One is that they must bring back someone with the ability to be able to move and physically use most of their powers. This comes from not only the physical abilities of the user, but also the muscle memory. However, one could even argue that it is more the psychic energy that is able to access certain factors of what's left within the mind. That is one hypothesis. Hence why they're able to access martial capabilities as well as access abilities that they learned and taught themselves over multiple years of hardship. However, there is a limitation. They are not able to access their own will, as they do not have any. They are not able to understand more intricate and intellectual factors, as they are not intellectual. And although they are quite perceptive, they're not entirely wise and insightful.
But if he was to give all of those normal properties back to them,
then they would be able to function almost entirely as a human being, a Huskonian, or any other sentient life with their own free will. However, these things do no longer affected by the usual means of life. The psychic energy is then maintained by the physical life force of what was left over, but because that was the thing that sustained them, they no longer require to function like any other normal life form. The psychic energy is then given away freely, and then is maintained by the user's will and personality. In other words, once you give back the personality, theoretically, they have no more connection to the original user of the power.
interesting. One other question that is separate. This Lord character, what abilities did he have?
You think that a man of myself wouldn't already have researched what I could about Lord's powers? And you think
I assumed you would, that's why I'd be asking.
And you think that if I had this information, I would have already written it down, or perhaps even catalogued it?
Quite possibly, but it's quicker to ask you.
Very well. I did have some knowledge and information on Lord, yes. I even catalogued some of the information on the individual who defeated him 3 times before his death. But to answer a question that you asked me earlier, a limitation to reanimation. There is one. The user must be in physical contact with the undead individual to de-affect their abilities of life, or re-affect their abilities with it. In other words, it is tactile contact only.
Alright, but how would that work with Catalyst?
That complicates things. There is no confirmation as to whether or not he could or couldn't reanimate them at a range. However, he would need some potential object infused with his own blood. I believe they are known as... He then looks back at them. golem hearts or remnant hearts. These are objects that are still infused with the user's power, allowing them to do so at a decent range. They would not need to touch them because technically an aspect of their powers are already hidden within inside them.
That makes sense why he's so willing to let Fletcher do what he wants. He knows he can take him back whenever he wants.
I don't know if that's entirely true. Wait, what?
Yeah, he brought Fletcher back, seemingly gave him his free will again.
But why would he do that? There's no reason for him to have free will anymore. As a matter of fact, according to my research, it's actually more dangerous to keep an undead untethered. Technically, he has...
Probably to get him in with the group, would be my guess.
But still, he cannot de-animate him unless if he has a piece of his own powers within inside him. Unless you have a feeling that he might.
I'm pretty sure he does, yeah.
The only way that that would be possible is if he has a remnant heart stuck within inside him. Or on him.
Which I'm pretty sure he does.
You might want to be more specific. You're going to need to get a confirmation on this. Otherwise, this could be dangerous.
Well, when I was sensing him with my abilities, there was always another, I guess you could say, aspect. I didn't really pick up on it until my elder brother informed me, but...
Are you sure that that is not the falsehood of life force? I was informed by this before. Hang on. He then types up again. Yes, here it is. Subject 100. An individual by the name of E100, one of my children, had an energy sensing ability, stated that people with specific types of life forces have inconsistencies in the way that their auras are. Are you sure that there is no other object within inside him? Because in all honesty, if that is true, you might be able to not tell the difference. You've never sensed undead like him before, correct?
Well, not ones with their free will anyway. But I have a feeling that he wouldn't let him go away, and he seems to be wanting to pin specifically this group down into his clutches so we don't get in his way, and that we're always indebted to him.
Perhaps then it must be that he is trying to get a hold of you. Perhaps
Probably.
maybe taking him out is the only option, if that's even an option anymore anyway.
Which is why I wanted to ask about Lord. He seems so infatuated about reviving him. So what abilities did he have?
Lord. The man with 100 powers. That was his nickname. Lord of the villains, villainous lord, the first supervillain. There are many different monikers that people gave him, but the main is this. He was the most powerful tyrant the world had ever seen. He held the world within the palm of his hand. Or should I say, he held Avarice City under his clutches for a long time, before someone was able to stop him. Supposedly the man had more powers than anyone has ever seen before, but we are not entirely sure if this was a catalyst, a copying user, an amalgam user, or even someone with an ability that can make it seem as though that they have multiple powers. Some even stated that the individual was loved and feared by many, and that he was infatuated with power and control. He had defeated many ex-war heroes from the War of Legends as well, claiming many lives, killing innocents, and even completely vanquishing those who ever stood against him, even if they had been under his wings for many years. Even I've never seen anyone this tyrannical since, well, the war. The only other person to ever come after this man of this level of danger and downright destructive was a man by the name of Pestilence. And, well, you might know this other name, Stilton Maximilian.
The one running the tournament.
And the one who just apparently, according to rumours, killed his entire staff not any more than a month after the tournament had supposedly been disbanded and the Crucible of Avarice had been activated.
There must be more to his abilities, though. Surely he wouldn't just want a simple copier of some ability user. He must have something else up his sleeve.
Well, if he has the ability to control individuals with their personality, he might be able to have it that he could control someone of that level. If he does have 100 abilities, then that could mean that he could control everything that he could need. An individual with that level of strength is unheard of in this day and age.
How would he keep those abilities after death? I mean, I know there's seemingly the weird tattooing that you can do of powers, but that seems limited.
Actually, there are powers that do this. There are permanent abilities, such as ability learning. It's a copying technique that is only possible when they are fully realized. But they are able to keep them through the knowledge and muscle memory of their body. Even some are actually able to learn SPMAs under other people, and permanently remember them and remind themselves of how to use them. Meaning that they don't actually have an official real power, but they're able to use everyone else's. This could be the possibility. Another is that his ability allows him to amalgamate powers, which would mean that his ability is individually useless, unless fighting multiple others. The last one is, of course, catalyzation. Some would say that he could have an ability that has only been seen twice in the entire world, but I assure you, if he had it, then I'm not sure how we could stop him. On the bright side...
From the description, if he's got multiple powers, well, actually, amalgamation, how does that one work exactly?
Well, he would need to know everyone's abilities, or at least be within a proximity of everyone. But there is an ability that allows the individual to be able to make a more permanent stockpile. But again, if he died, the stockpile would have ended, meaning that the corpse theoretically is useless.
And what about the copying one? But you said that's through muscle memory, right? So if you resurrected him, theoretically all the abilities would still be usable.
Indeed, although if he also wanted to gain even more understanding and control, and based on your theory of Fletcher not actually having the control that he thinks, he might try to put a leash on Lord, keep his personality, and control him individually. Which means he might want to access every ability that he's ever gained over the years that he was fighting. That with an undead form that never tires, and you might very well have an invincible warrior at your domain.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as invincible, but surely one to be reckoned with, yes.
He then swivels back on his chair to look at you. Quite intelligent for someone who is only a simple brawler.
Well, I'm not so intelligent when it comes out to things outside of battle, but I've had enough experience to know how to deal with things. It's also
Then
kind of meant to be my job.
take this, if you will. We did maybe do a little experimentation on this subject, a little closer than I had originally stated to you. It seems as though willpower abilities are 100% impossible, with the undead not having their own free will and personality.
I mean, that makes sense.
It would also make sense as to why he has not attempted to take your Kyger's body back. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were going to take anyone's body, surely it would be the most powerful man in the world, or most powerful creature in the world.
Alright. My final question, again, a bit unrelated. Resurrection abilities. What kind exist in this universe, apart from the Phoenix kind?
You know of the Phoenix Resurrection, okay. There are 4 that I know of, but I've heard of a 5th. There is Absorption Regenerative Resurrection, based on the individual, Healing Factor Resurrection, Adaptive Resurrection, and then Phoenix Resurrection. There is a 5th, technically, and therefore that would mean that the secret one that I've been hearing about is the 6th, but the 5th one theoretically isn't even true resurrection. Revival. It's the ability that some call the hand on heart. It's biokinetic, but theoretically with a powerful enough biokinetic you could bring someone back even if their body had been blown to bits, although it would create a great deal of time consumption, but it is possible. The only issue is, without a necrotizing ability, if a person has been dead long enough, they cannot be resurrected at all using that method. Phoenixes can be brought back within 7 days of death, and if I'm remembering correctly, the same goes for regenerative resurrection, and I believe it's 24 hours for adaptive and absorption resurrection.
No. Well, all of those are out the ball game. What about the other? Well, what about the last ones?
The last one, well, it's known as Mortality Revival. According to legends, about 50 years ago, there was an individual who claimed to be the ultimate healer. Known as the Life Giver, this individual was able to supposedly bring people back from the dead, regardless of whatever ailment they had, including death that people thought was entirely impossible to revive from. If this individual was able to do so, then that would be possible. Supposedly, they lived in Matrata, in the continent of Eden. If supposed belief of power level of that level or that degree, that could mean that it is possible to revive being thought to be completely dead. But there is another possibility. You see, healing factor and adaptive healing factor users are able to resurrect themselves almost indefinitely if they have an ability known as immortality or immortuousness. It is because that their body is immune to decay. That and, well, our kind also supposedly have another ability of regenerative shedding. Shedding all of the old enzymes by secreting new ones that will then birth a new original body. But I warn you, these 3 abilities are almost impossible to be able to get to working on a completely dead body without the right knowledge. I don't know if it's easy to use on a person who's already dead, especially when they're not the owner of that original power. But it might be possible.
So in terms of finding one, I'm going to guess that Matrata would probably be the best place to look.
In terms of healing powers, there are none quite like Matrata. But in the terms of, well, discretion? No, that's not the word for it. In terms of privacy, the Matratans like to keep themselves to themselves. Eden is a great place, but Matrata is, without question, the greatest location. But one of your current race might be able to get in there. As a matter of
They're
fact,
also obsessed with strength, so I doubt it would be that difficult to get in.
it would be impossible for any Huskonians to get in, but it is 100% possible for your kind to get in. Especially if you claim to be a universal warrior. Sorry, multiversal dimension hopping warrior.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I have some other things that could catch their interest, if not, but... Alright. Well, that clears up that idea then. That won't work.
The Matratans might be your only hope. They might not be.
Depends who I find, but... For now, it seems like the best shot.
Indeed.
Well, alright then. I think I've learnt all I needed to here. Thanks for the assistance.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, I should probably let you know, and then we now cut to Fletcher. Fletcher, you're going through all of the rooms trying to find Rakia. You eventually get to the last room and you open it up, and there is no Rakia. Very confused, you go around and look around for a little more, until eventually you get to a place with a neatly folded note with the words Fletcher on it.
Ominous.
You open the letter,
Yeah.
and do you begin reading it?
Damn. This is the point where it comes to life. I can't read.
Yes.
I have no idea
No,
how
yes,
to read.
please.
The words are about as intangible as you are.
The words are an intangible force that you have no idea what it means. No. You read it to yourself, and it is apparently a letter from Rakia, stating that Rakia has gone shopping, and has no idea when anyone else will be back. But basically, Rakia is going off shopping and grabbing some things for herself from Huskonia, but also wants to learn a bit more about herself, because everyone keeps calling her Huskonian and wants to get to the bottom of this. So she then says, I will see you later. Take care, Fletcher.
Aww. Well, hopefully she has fun.
We now come to Aldous. Aldous, you have sort of taken refuge in the library, and there are a few other Huskonians sort of in there, just sort of like reading books and having a look through some stuff. You eventually sort of like, by the way, during your meditation or you're just trying to sit there, have you got your eyes closed?
Oh yeah, pretty much Aldous is just like cross-legged on a chair, just kind of listening to the sounds.
The funny thing is when you said cross-legged, I immediately thought in my head on a chair, as you said then on a chair. I can't imagine him doing cross-legged on the floor.
No, because like sometimes I do that when I'm sitting on a chair. I just cross-legged.
Same here. So
True fact.
As you,
I was just gonna say I'm more of a man spread person myself, you know.
I mean, fair. I mean, I think I sit on the chair in almost every single way except from feet on the chair, like squatting. I don't squat on a chair.
Do you know what? I blame the British school assembly system.
Fair. As you're sort of doing that, you start hearing a weird noise like sniffing all around you, like just right up in your ears and right up in your face, just something sniffing and smelling you.
Can I roll a willpower check to see if I would do this?
Yeah, roll willpower, I guess.
Okay. Either, if I fail this, I will probably try and do something relatively funny. Give me a second.
Marmite.
+2. Yeah, we'll just shoot them with animite.
I said Marmite, but yeah, Animite works too.
Animite.
No,
also, just to say, didn't you amalgamate to Thingamajig's willpower? So technically, don't you have +8?
No, he doesn't have it now. Like,
oh, does he not? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I will slowly open like one eye to see he's looking at me.
You see an incredibly pale. How do I put it this way? You see an incredibly pale, bald, like completely hairless wraith, like a stalker wraith, like really long, spindly arms, grey skin, black eyes, just like sniffing you.
Does he notice when I open my eyes?
Yes, he does, but he doesn't take notice.
Okay, I will close my eyes again and assume this is some kind of... just kind of, okay. Maybe it's one of those... Maybe it's some kind of mental thing, like OCD, where he just has to sniff if he ever comes into the library, and then he will leave me alone.
He takes a huge, like, inhale through his nose at you, just...
I will push the crown.
He just looks at you.
I thought I
will
smelled
push the crown
it.
slightly lower.
He then like he looks at you. His eyes trace over it. He goes,
I thought I smelled it before, but it is indeed. That's a time stone.
Can I help you?
Not very much so. I was just interested in something, but never mind.
He then like leans up, and this guy is not just tall; he is insanely tall. You then notice that like he's got like a sort of white cloak over his left shoulder. He's got like bandoliers, and he's also got seemingly like sheaths that hold 4 blades. As you sort of like see, like as the sort of cloak opens up to the side, you see he's got 4 incredibly long arms. You also then see on his right shoulder a tattoo in black ink that says E-101.
Okay. So, can I help you in any way?
Looks around, then looks back at you.
I was just checking something. Do not worry.
Aldous will just nod. And he will... I think he will attune... He will do the... he'll, amalgamate to the 4 stones around him. Or to the 2 stones. So...
Okay.
Just so that he can, more or less, he can use biological manipulation to sense this man. So in case he does attempt to do anything. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, so
And then he just kind of closes his eyes and once again goes back to just meditating.
I want to point out the biokinesis is the biokinesis quote unquote sense is not passive.
Isn't it?
No, it's not passive, but you can activate it.
Okay, I will put it on.
You notice that like he sort of gets closer again and just goes.
So, it is not your original power, but it is something that you use, like as if it was. I've seen this only once before, but still. To steal a power from a time child and wield it so effortlessly. Impressive, I'll give you that.
He opens one eye and then I didn't steal it. I was given it. Now would you mind? I'm attempting to meditate.
I mind incredibly so. After all, it is indeed my duty to make sure that time manipulation is strictly forbidden within these domains.
And he just goes quiet, just goes silent.
If you are to wield it, trust me, I will know.
Okay, I won't.
You eventually meet up. By the way, Anarche, the thing that you get told is, oh yeah, I should probably tell you, is Rakia has gone. As in gone off shopping. However, if you guys wish to wait for her, that is entirely up to you. However, you know, it's really one of those things where you're then informed, like, she left about 3 hours ago and she still isn't back. So it's your call what you want to do.
Nah, fair enough. Might as well wait around.
Felix... Sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
I was going to say, Felix, you leave to go and find the others.
Right.
You meet up with Fletcher, Pinky, and then eventually meet up with Aldous. Anarche, you eventually get to finding them, which is then in the library.
Is it a short break?
No, it hasn't been. You need 3 hours uninterrupted for a short rest.
Okay. You probably see Aldous just meditating.
You eventually get in all at the same time. You sort of get together. So, what's gonna happen?
Happen how?
Well, you've been revived. Felix has just, I assumed, said goodbye. Aldous doesn't seem like he's doing much. And Anarche, you went and saw 10 on your own, but what happens now?
Quick question. Fletcher, how much do you understand what's happened to you? Or how much has he explained, if any?
Pretty much everything.
Well, then you know there's practically no ability that will bring you back to life at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
The only reason I'm alive is because he still had plans.
I say practically. There still is a power that might be able to bring you back. Or should, under any circumstance.
Ooh. Something.
Apparently, it's an Megan ability that can bring anyone back under any condition, no time period allowed. The only thing is I assume you'd have to remove what's in your body.
By the way, I just want you to say you haven't got energy sense on at the moment.
No! This is an assumption.
Okay.
Interesting.
By the way, Fletcher, you have no idea what he's talking about removing something from your body.
We gotta take your spine.
Yeah! Go on Mortal Kombat for this shit.
Let me touch your skin.
I feel like if he put anything in me, it would be at least someone able for me to sense it.
Well, hang on. I need to do a double check. As Anarche now will just focus his energy sense on Fletcher
Go for it.
and try to hone in.
You do so, almost like with the same intensity as like a Byakugan or something like that. As you're like watching him, you notice that his energy, like his life force, is really weird, but it isn't the same as the other undead that you've seen before. You don't sense any specific objects or cores that are inside their body that the majority of their energy is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that
He's just
his life force looks very weird and sickly.
Okay, well, now I guess we'll technically make it easier, because you don't have an object on you, which gets rid of that worry at least.
Worry how?
Well, thanks to his effigy animation, he could, create golem hearts, I believe they're called, that he can put into subjects. My concern was with that and Catalyst that he seemingly has, he might be able to deactivate you or take remote control at any point.
Oh yeah, he can do that. He said he would let me go to continue on our mission and to do 3 specific things for him. In exchange, I sign a deal, he gives me my life after the mission's done, And at any point, if he deems that I'm either going to hinder or prevent him from getting what he wants, he will just remove my consciousness, and I will turn back into the dead puppet, as he says. In his words, I'm his bitch.
Yeah, so he just sent you here to be another added debt to us. Okay.
But wait a minute. That means that the only reason as to why he's got control of you is because of that contract, right?
The contract is kind of like metaphysical. It's not a single object.
Well, the thing is that Anake, didn't you say that he couldn't have remote control over him if he was an animated creature? Unless if he had one of those heart thingies, right?
Supposedly, yeah. But my only concern is that Catalyst throws an issue into that. It could be that he doesn't, and he's faking this to make you think that he's able to, relying on your lack of knowledge of how his ability works, or what he tells you how his ability works.
Okay, but wait a minute. Where is Fergus? I mean, didn't you get to us pretty quickly? Considering that if you had a conversation with him after you died, wouldn't that mean that you would have taken a lot longer to get to us?
I mean, I woke up in a strange area after, I guess I bit the big one. I could still see the building, but it was like a construction yard.
That was one of the new buildings, so we know where he was. Would he still be there?
Yeah. Well, with his ability to go wherever he wants it, whenever he pleases, the likelihood of him still waiting around is practically nil.
Mm.
Heck, it even said, "Come, if your friends get any ideas to come and try and kill him, he welcomes it."
Wait, what?
Not surprising.
Though, he said he probably won't bring anyone back as a corpse other than Rakia.
To intimidate you. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's if we were to lose against him, though. Then again, if he has this much control, he must be relatively confident in his ability.
Okay. Well, here's the bad thing about bringing you back to life, Fletcher. You may need to die a third time. I assume his power has some sort of grip on you, which would mean I assume if anyone else tries to pull a resurrection ability on you, his power might be able to deny it.
Wait a minute. Are there any kind of clauses in your contract? Like loopholes or anything?
Well, he said, as long as I am doing everything in my ability to get what he wants, I could even assist you guys in trying to take him down. But he laughs at that. So, I guess if he wasn't alive, they couldn't prevent me from being resurrected.
Does any of his requirements require you to go to Eden at all?
Well, I have to physically see what he wants.
Oh, so he hasn't told you then?
Probably told me what he wants me to know. As long as the objects he's looking for is not tampered with or attempted to be destroyed, I get to keep my free will.
So in other words, we can act in any other way as long as we're not specifically hindering him. Why would he do that, though? I mean, surely wouldn't he just write it down in some kind of contract? Do not attack me!
Because he's overconfident.
Or maybe there's another reason.
Could be.
Is there
sorry. I was also going to say I found out probably why he wants this Lord character so much as well. More than likely, turns out they're probably a copier with I've forgotten what specifically are called, but apparently they can observe abilities and learn them. Because of how the function of that ability works and it becomes muscle memory, he could resurrect them without giving them free will, and they'd still be able to use all the abilities they mustered over their time.
He's also looking for 2 other individuals.
Who would those be?
Let's see. One of them is the Seraphim of Time. And, oh, damn it. I think the other one was a superhero.
Roll history check, Fletcher. I'm going to say with advantage, because it was about an hour ago.
I could remember one name, but I couldn't remember the other.
That's fair.
I just want to go to Bone Island, not gonna lie. Out again.
Bone apple tea!
I'm sorry, my love, but I need to go to somewhere important. Bone Island. It was.
I got 11.
It was the Superpower King.
Superpower King, that was it.
I would like
Thank you.
Aldous. I'm going to say Aldous, Felix, and I'm going to say Anarche, but disadvantage with Anarche.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say all 3 of you can roll me a history or a world knowledge.
Both are just flat rolls for me, so it really doesn't matter.
Fair.
I technically read it, so I guess it'd be history.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot that you actually did read it, so...
Yeah.
I guess
I
you
will
can
roll
it
world
normally.
Felix is just thinking about Bone Island.
Bone
I gotta
Island.
go there.
Oh, I have no
Bone
idea.
Island to Bone Island.
We're all thinking about Bone Island. We know.
Yeah.
Aldous, you've heard of this Superpower King before. Supposedly the one who created the Miracle Stone. Who lived about, I don't know, 100 years ago and died anywhere between 80 to 50 years ago.
Okay.
Well, I have no idea who the Superpower King is, but the other one, Seraphim of Time, from what I've heard, that sounds exactly like something in Eden. They seem to have a whole thing about gods and whatever.
They're named after angels. Seraphim is actually one of their highest ranking officials. The only reason I know that is because they sent a Seraphim and an Archangel.
Yeah, we bumped into a different kind of archangel. On a boat.
You've met people from Eden then?
Yeah. Very stuck up and high and mighty.
Yeah, I've heard that. So, not that I want to detour you, Fletcher, too much, but we either hunt for this Lord thing and try and stop him then, or we remove his connection that he has on you. Then we try and do this Lord thing. Or we just try and kill him some other way.
Either way, if we do go up against him, it's probably not going to be an easy fight, even if all of us are in together. After all, he's got who knows what under his control. We saw Warhead.
Right,
Who else
and
can he... So it's not just gonna be us versus him.
I get
And
that.
Who knows if he can just snap his fingers and I'll not be a part of the fight anymore.
That's why I recommend we remove his connection from you first.
I'm fine with that.
I'm
Yeah.
willing to give anything a shot.
Alright. Well, the only issue I've heard, Husqvarnians aren't allowed there. They
No.
have a kill
They're
on
not.
site policy.
Pinky just
However-
looks really sad.
I never heard anything about illegal smuggling. I'm a specialty at this. So, we'll just throw them in the pocket dimension.
She looks uncertain,
Well,
but
no-
also slightly happier.
So we'll just throw them in the pocket dimension. They have muffins, even though they don't get hungry. They'll have muffins if they want a snack. They have a TV. They have games. They have movies. They can just chillax. And then well, we just go in and we just don't tell anyone. We just don't let anyone in my pocket dimension, and we just don't tell anyone we have husks in our pocket dimension.
I'm not really sure on this.
Sounds like a
but
great.
I have always wanted to go out adventuring, so I guess I kind of got what I asked for.
Yeah, I hate to say that the first place I'm going to be taking you is through illegal smuggling, but hey.
She looks somewhat kind of nervous and concerned, but still like, go get him! Like she's really like not sure on it, but still.
I'll get super friendly with them anyway. It's fine. I'm sure I can guess them. Apparently, they like my kind, or what you consider me as their Megan anyway. Plus, it will seem like we're doing what he wants, which is heading after the time guy.
Yeah.
So, we not only have our disguise of why we can go there, but we should hopefully be able to find someone who should be able to resurrect you. Properly, without any strings attached.
I hope so. Feels like I've got a leash on my neck.
Speaking of which, Felix, what do you plan to do?
I plan to follow, as you are the main transport.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. Can't argue with that one. I would prefer to, as much as this Lord guy does sound like an interesting fight, I'd prefer not to have him under someone like that's control, so if possible, we deal with him before he even gets a chance to get Lord.
That's completely fair. Once again, I do have some leads on the location of Lord thanks to 10. But we will deal with those later, as Fletcher's our main importance right now.
Any that are of significant importance, or?
There are 2 locations that he could possibly be buried there, and then there is some leads on some people who may know more of the exact location. Either in the Garrison Crypt or Avarice City for the burial locations. As for information more specific, we could seek out an individual known as Demon who 10 suspects might be on Bone Island.
Oh, also, Fergus told you about the Seeker as well. That's in Avarice City.
Yeah, I've had to hunt down so many people. It's,
No, I just thought I'd remind you just so that then you.
I see it. It's in my list. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do I have to kill this person or find him? It just blurs together.
I mean, I also have the Historian Guild, but
I mean,
No, I have great links with those. That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, that's not actually 100% untrue. Like, okay, that's the entire reason actually why and how you were able to get into that facility, because you're like, yo, so can I use your materials? Yeah, sure, but anything you find has to be somewhat claimed by the Historians Guild. Sure, baby, I know it.
Oh, I just blackmailed them into basically getting the rights of everything.
Pretty much.
Alright then. Well, now the question is, do we wait for Rakia, or do we dip?
I mean, at the very least, I give some Pinky someone to hang out with. While
True.
sitting in the pocket dimension.
Oh, well, she does have the orb. I haven't spoken to him in ages.
Yeah.
Is the old much of a conversationist?
I think he's anything but a conversationalist.
I think he kind of talks too much, if anything.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, if I was to describe him, I think he's that guy who would, like, talk about the plot of a movie way too much while you're watching it. You'd be
Oh,
constantly
the
like
worst.
criticizing it as you're watching it, and it's just like, dude, shut up! I want to watch
think
this.
it would be less criticizing and over analyzing.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, either way, if Pinky needs people to like come in and visit every now and again,
Oh yeah, no, we're not just going to throw her in there and not
Yeah.
ever.
yeah,
10
Still
months
have us
later,
there.
it's like episode 60 something, and it's just like, oh, Pinky, we forgot you were in this fucking
Yeah.
dimension.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Sitting
grown
next- yeah.
beards.
Oh, also, I have a question while we're here. Aldous, did you use my portal ability at any point? Because I have a body in my pocket dimension I'd like an explanation for.
All this is still just like just sitting there, just dead silent, just eyes closed.
Is there like a book or anything, Nenny?
I want to point out, this is not benefiting you whatsoever, you not being a part of this conversation, because they are being way too loud and way too specific for you to gain any rest from this.
Joe, is there like
You know those
a
things, things where you focus on one sound to dull out other sounds.
Then you're
Almost, if you
you're
need
doing
rest.
worst of both worlds. Then you're doing worst. You're not going to gain a short rest, and you're not being a part of the conversation. Shooting
Almost,
yourself in the foot.
If you need a rest, I can make you some pills to help with that.
Fletcher just goes over to Aldous. Wake up, Aldous! We need you! We're trying to ask you questions.
Oh no!
So-
Shame I've got this permanent marker right here. Guess I'm gonna have to
a
do
dad-
some drugs.
Let me get this straight. So a dad offers drugs to a priest.
Yes.
They are. It's sleeping drugs.
Father, you
Sure,
seem,
bud.
So wait,
Father,
not the
you
other
seem to be
type of-
restless. I could help you.
Look, it's a dad who has made many deals with many devils.
Yep.
just give me. Oh, have some rest. No, all this. It'll all be fine.
Well, you know, I could always just knock you out.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, to be honest.
Knocking you
Yeah.
out does not grant the benefits of a short rest.
No, grants along with a long
He's
rest.
update.
Aldous, you have been asked a question.
Aldous will reluctantly open his eyes,
Yeah, did you use
realizing
my,
that meditation is not coming now. Yes?
yeah, did you use my portal ability?
Right? Yes. I used it when we were at the House of Toxic.
Ah, right. Good to know. Good to know. So anyone with your ability can access my portal. That's kind of concerning.
That is very
It seemed that
concerning,
way.
considering it's our main reason as to how we're going to smuggle me in.
Ah, it'll be fine. You can hide in the muffin house.
Aldous gets cut off and goes back to meditating.
with the unconscious body of Leia.
Yeah, just hide under the body.
I want to point out, an unconscious or a dead Asconian body is dedefinitely the worst disguise for like
Oh,
an Omega
wait, hang on.
search.
Hang on, wait. Hang on. Gigaplane Blan. I have an ability I haven't needed to use at this point that would be perfect for illegal smuggling.
Oh.
So I can cut my pocket dimension technically into 2 rooms, which separates the objects that are in them.
Interesting. I forgot about that ability.
I can put her in the room with all the stuff in it, then swap the room so it's just a blank empty one. So if anyone looks in my pocket dimension,
The
the,
first
only
pocket
one they'll
dimension they
see
go to is that one. Okay.
is the blank one.
Gotcha.
And thus, no one will be able to see. Or no.
Interesting.
So, we're all on board with illegally smuggling a husk into a holy city, right?
Multiple, maybe.
You get sort of
Multiple?
like. By the way, Aldous, whilst this is going on, you sort of like get tugged on your like the side of your robe.
Open eye.
Pinky's just like, You were so concerned about finding this Fergus person, but you said nothing.
I'm trying to get insight. It's difficult.
But
Oh, are you trying to ask Animate to tell you what to do next? Guide your way. Do you need a stone, even? Still got the Animate chunk.
He looks to his crown.
Oh yeah, right.
To be fair,
But if you want, if you want, that might help as well.
Yeah. It's
And
kind
he'll-
of the only possession I have left, other than what's left of my staff.
That's pretty depressing to hear, I've got to be honest.
If you want, I
Yeah.
can take a look at
Hey,
that stuff. Might be able to fix it.
you're welcome to try. I would actually really appreciate it because it was
Wait,
my
what?
original staff for my
What's it
master.
made of? Wait, is it made of metal or wood?
Steel.
Shit.
Wait, how'd that one break?
large amounts of
Everything on
electricity.
me broke.
Every
Ah.
object that you had on him either melted or shattered or disintegrated. The only thing that didn't break was the chunk of animite.
Yep, nice.
And thankfully, one chunk of my original staff,
Yeah, it's just
Fletcher
like
will keep on to as a memory.
Wait,
Molten
hang on, I totally forgot, guys. We still have Jimmy Grum.
Who?
The guy who was making us our weapons, or my swords.
You then hear from across the room a voice going, "Oh, you mean that, deadbeat?" You then just see Tendra walking in, holding someone behind her, dragging them in. Long time no see, guys.
Hey, Tendra! I thought you would have got here sooner.
Well, considering I had to fly, since I don't have a fancy teleporter.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have just took a plane?
Anyway, found this piece of shit. She then just throws this wraith's body into the middle of the library, covered in blood, bruises, and bad wounds. Trying to do something outside of our gates. Thought that he might have had something to do with something, and he told me something very interesting. Go on now. She then puts her foot on his shoulder. That seems to be very broken, and he then leaves out this horrible blood-curdling scream. Go on, tell them what you told me. I will say nothing, wench. Oh, that's a shame. Steps on him further. Apparently, according to this thing, they have kidnapped one of our own, whoever the hell that would be.
Oh, Rakia. Well, that was quick.
Oh, okay.
Fletcher
the
is
one-
at his throat. You tell me where you've took my master, I will eviscerate you, atom by atom.
Trust me, he won't listen to that. I already broke most of his bones, and I even probably popped one of his organs out of the way.
But that's because you're doing the boring intimidation, tortured efforts. You see, that's what my pocket dimension is for. Because we can kill him as many times as we want, and he'll constantly reform and have to suffer that pain over and over and over. So, I mean, if you want to avoid that, we can just,
we do have a simpler option. Looks at the armbands.
True.
Depends if it was a fight. If she was just taken unaware.
You are still able to locate people.
Yeah.
You're
Uh,
all fools. Absolute idiots. The individual who took her knew exactly the weaknesses of the bands. She had no idea, and then when she was taken, she will never be found by you, cretinous creatures.
Alright, say something useful. Who actually took her?
Our father.
That's not really much clarification. I mean, there's a lot of dads here, I've got to be honest.
No, you fool! The father, the true father, the all-father of the Wendiego family, Rakia's true blood.
What?
Who?
shadow organizations, you fools. There's no such thing when it truly comes to real monsters. We are the bloodline of a truly powerful creature known as the All-Father Wendigo.
I mean, cool story, but you still haven't told us where she is.
She's possibly halfway across the world by now. Our father has many things, but I don't know where he truly would be if he needs her out of the way.
The bands can still track, right? Even
They can, yes.
cool. Yeah, can you just look her up quickly? We'll just go and beat them up quickly.
Beep boop.
Yeah,
boop, look up bracket.
When you do so, there is an interesting thing where it goes, Rakia, it knows Rakia. And it goes, and it shows you something, but then, as it's sort of moving, it then disappears. It's in a very specific country, and then it disappears and goes to another country. And it keeps doing so all across the world.
Okay.
You said you broke a few of his bones, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to use, let's see, what was it again? Intangible interplay, and start moving his bones around inside him.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I mean,
Not
you
okay.
roll for what you roll for.
Yeah, so just try not to get too much blood in the library. I don't want to have to explain it to 10.
Oh, don't worry, it'll be all internal damage.
Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, that's his
Maybe
fault.
I'll put one of his rib bones in his lung.
Yeah, you do so. He begins
Start
to
rearranging his pelvis.
He begins to you're taking chunks of shrapnel that is parts of the bones and sort of rearranging it into locations. He begins like convulsing in pain and hacking up blood. You know you're going to kill him, right?
Oh, we're gonna toss him into an arcade thing. He'll be feeling this for a long time.
Oh, I've already got the illegally smuggle husks. Now I've got more on my plate. Jeez, just adding
Yeah, sorry about that.
more cargo.
Alright. Give us a hint to where we're going, and we won't torture you any further.
He then starts screaming out in a strange language that you do not recognize.
Oh, Pinky, can you translate?
Oh, what?
Can
Just
I roll
because I'm a
history directly?
Haskonian, I know exactly what he's saying?
No, because you've done it before. No, I'm not trying to be rude here. It's just...
No, I'm kidding. I actually know exactly what he's saying. He's saying something like, Wendigo family, hear me now. He's now saying, Brethren, I have failed. The All-Father consume me.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm bored.
portal him.
I just kick him into my pocket dimension.
Roll me SP to open the pocket dimension.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, because we're inside.
Yeah. 23.
You sort of attempt to open it, and it does begin to sort of open. But as you sort of see this, you actually notice that he's beginning to convulse, and almost a really weird pattern on his body begins showing. As the blood that you see dripping from him begins to bubble, almost as if it's boiling, and his body goes from a strange pale to suddenly it just begins to go red.
As this is happening, can I create a dome around him, him specifically, just so if any explosion or something happens, it's just
okay.
inside?
Yeah, roll for it.
Natural 20.
What were you gonna say, Sam?
Perfect.
Nah, never mind.
Okay.
All this is
Perfect.
if all this is going to interrupt now, I don't think he's been paying attention for
actually,
the last
Kane,
5 minutes.
I forgot. You can't make constructs when you're not in your warrior
Not
mode.
transform.
No.
Yeah.
You shoot
Well-
a beaver. No. I'll just.
Okay.
We'll have to just remove that natural 20. It's just a
Oh.
shame.
Unless that's me transformed, but even then, that's against.
I mean, I'm fine with you being transformed with that, but either way, that That's the action economy gone. No.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah.
I'd say.
I guess could I?
I'd say you do you do transform. You do see this. By the way, like his body begins to like turn to dust at this point as he's bubbling and boiling and sort of like slowly beginning to raisin as it just sort of like shrinks and screams as he just becomes dust.
No, they have a soft suicide mechanism.
You then hear Ten's voice. I can't believe it. I only heard stories about them, but they're actually real? Wendigos. I heard a legend about this about 100 years ago, but I thought it was a childhood story that people used to put fear into the hearts of their children. Yet, one just died before us.
Please, Ten, tell us everything you know. We need to help Rakia.
I'm afraid that there isn't much known about them. The legend states that years ago, when the original explosion happened, there was someone who was claimed to be a monster. Upon the death he was supposed to receive, he was morphed into an incredibly dangerous creature called the Wendigo. He eventually disappeared, but not before consuming 3 individuals. After that, people have stated that they have seen a monster similar to that of, well, wraiths, giving people strange notions of cannibalism. Even more so, they have different mutations than the rest, horns and so. I've heard of them, but I've never been able to get my hands on any actual proof. This individual melted, and even the dust is beginning to disappear as well. I've heard that they are not of normal or natural creation. Perhaps this is what we are seeing.
Quite
Why does
possibly.
that feel so familiar?
Fletcher, you remember when we tried to steal that teleporter? I mean, by trying, I mean we did.
Yeah,
You remember
when we run the truck.
Yeah, the individual. They seemed connected to Rakia, did they not?
I couldn't be sure other than, they look like a Huskonian.
Roll me both a history check. I'm glad that you brought this up, actually, Felix. I'm gonna actually give you an advantage, to be fair. Felix,
Okay,
you did bring it up. That's
no.
No.
Ah, but Fletcher.
Fletcher, you recognise something. When the artist Kukurara, the specific words ringing out, you remember that. Wendigo. The specific words that you then say, like you sort of try to remember it. It's still very janky, the way that you say it, but it sounds roughly similar to what this guy says, but a little different. It's like, she goes, Pinky just says, that means Wendigo's sister, please hear me. I can sense you.
That's what the thing that was in the truck that fell out. That's what it screamed.
Oh. Meaning Rakia.
Oh. And we released it. I was sure that with all the guards there, they would have took it down.
Perhaps they did. But nevertheless, this is quite concerning. If that means that this thing has been alive for over 100 years and it's been gathering more and more of its own kind, then that would mean that they actually could have an army by now. Even if there was only 1 child per year, that's still up to 100 children. Raki might not even be the first or the last. Well, given the way that one looked, definitely not.
The issue is we have no actual leads where to start except, well, I can only think of one.
And what's that?
Well, maybe the people who seem to hate your kind the most.
You don't think
Edith.
the Metratans would actually have a device or even capability of sensing our own kind, do you?
Well, quite possibly. I mean, I don't really know their technology. I haven't really seen it firsthand, but it's quite possible they could. But also the only reason I assume is that from what I've heard, they seem to have a tendency of hunting. And if there's something like this that could possibly threaten their land, I don't think they would just willingly sit by.
It does actually seem like a very interesting idea. At least makes sense. But
I mean, I could be wrong. They could know nothing at all, but
still, a family that could have this level of power. I mean, it was able to kill itself, you say? Just with the words.
yeah. Almost
Well,
like
whatever we
it's,
do.
I assume this is something they can, well, at least this one might be able to do, but it might be a mechanism they're all capable of.
Or at the very least, the ones that are more closely connected to the original.
Right.
Maybe they must be aware of this ability? There's no sample for me to be able to use.
Sorry, Fletcher, you were going to say something.
Well, there's no point in wasting time. I mean, we were heading to Eden anyway.
True. Alright then. Oh, Tanjiro, I assume you're staying here, or are you also coming along?
Well, considering my mission is pretty much completed, I was actually going to say, the one thing, where's the blood of Smithy?
I'm pretty sure Felix marked down, like, texted the group
Oh
chat.
yeah, never mind.
Yeah, so you don't have to say that out loud.
No, I completely forgot that she didn't know. There's so many confusing texts. Never mind. Yeah,
It's rewind time.
it's rewind time. Well, yeah, because if she knows that you sent her a text, because I completely forgot that you actually said I've sent them both texts like last session. Yeah, fair enough. With that being said, yeah, she just goes, well, I've got
Where's the blood of Smithy? Looks at Felix's shirt.
Yeah!
Well, I was actually going to say, Fletcher, Felix. It's come full circle.
Joe.
Where
The two berries.
she then says, where is the where is the she then looks over at the group and looks back at you.
The package.
The package.
Felix will. Oh. Ignore the dogs.
Dogs!
They know the package.
Dogs. They have the package.
The hounds are after me.
Felix will pull up whatever form of GPS map they have in this place and will give the location.
Rah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah. Right.
That's a sweet name.
She looks at the coordinates. Yeah, the thing is, I went there and there was nothing there.
That's concerning.
Did we know about this?
I assume they're talking about the person here, against the wall.
Oh, yeah. I saw what you did. There was already an enforcer there.
Yeah, it's also quite possibly, I don't know, you gave it to another catalyst user?
Oh, come on, you can't be serious. Fergus got a hold of it?
Quite possibly, yeah.
It did look awfully too clean.
Well, if there is still some blood on my shirt, I don't know if that's enough.
I mean, not at all. If he already has the original, there's nothing I can do with dried up husk. What you know what I mean. The dried up
Yes.
blood is not going to be useful to me, considering.
Yeah, no, I understand.
That is rather annoying, but nevertheless, the issue is dealt with. As for the rest of you, I have no doubt that you have reason to still be here, so if you're going to go, go. If you're going to stay, stay. However, I will keep in contact with Felix about any particular utterances of the Wendiago family. It seems appropriate. My biggest
Please let us-
concern is one thing in particular. How on earth they're able to make it as if the band's tracker doesn't work?
That is interesting.
Well, Fergus was able to manipulate my band to stay on a dead body. Can't be that hard to hack.
That is rather concerning. Do you think he could do something about mine?
Unless you want to meet Fergus by him face to face, I can't do anything.
I was only joking. Besides, meeting a sociopath like that would actually probably be worse for the rest of humanity.
Yeah, true.
You don't need to tell me twice.
By the way, I was looking at the alarming situation that you have there, Fletcher. Where on earth would your master be hiding out?
Well, when he brought me back, he was over in the construction yard. Your guess that he's still there is, probably a 50-50 chance.
Interesting. And you wouldn't exactly be lying to us now, would you?
Would I have any reason to?
Tell me one single lie.
I am not okay with Tetra.
Everyone just looks at each other. I couldn't honestly tell if that was a lie or not.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's what I'm picking up.
Like a blatant
Do I look
lie.
like Rakia?
Like
Do I look like Rakia?
Pale skin.
I mean, you don't want to be playing that game right now.
Alright.
just say like the sky is red or something.
Yeah, come on, like muffins are bad or
Muffins are bad? Even I can't lie about that.
roll willpower. Hard to hatred.
He then says, very well, and tell me an obvious truth.
Fergus is a sociopath.
Well, you're not under the control of your supposed master. He then uses air quotes for that. Which means that you do have your own free will. It just seems as though you have certain aspects that he wants you to control.
He probably still has a tight grip on me no matter where I go.
Can he
Possibly.
see through your eyes? Does he know where you are at any given moment?
He wouldn't tell me that much. All he would say is my thoughts are still my own.
Fascinating. No,
So there's a possibility. Well, I guess we better be off, to kill Fletcher and then resin again.
it sounds weird the way that you say that, but fair enough.
Nah, you're a champ, aren't you, Fletcher? You've already died twice. You'll be fine the third time, right?
Who knows? Maybe I'll start
Yeah.
getting used to it.
Nah, well, I guess
you'll
you'll-
more times than I can be fine.
Yeah, you got this. Alright, well, I guess it'll just be us then. I actually need to do... I'll do that later. But yeah, I guess we should go then.
Hopefully I can get some new clothes and weaponry when we get there.
Yay!
Oh,
off to
yeah,
a new
you'll
land.
definitely-
Yeah, island hop.
I guess back to the room of teleportation.
Back to reality.
Whoop, there goes reality.
So you guys obviously leave the facility before using the phase gate to get back. You get back to the facility. Do you just try and program it for Eden, or?
I'm gonna go to the coordinates room.
Okay.
I'll slam my hand on it, and because I've been told it's a city, right, where we.
Yes.
So, I will try and find that city on the coordinates, and just like put a dot to like outside of it.
Okay. You find like you're going through a few different places all over the globe. You eventually find one where there's an island, like a big island. There's huge mountains all over it, but in this like big plains area, there is a city that is built up with a large wall around it. It all looks metal, but again, you can't necessarily see color on this. It's all just one big color, but it looks beautiful. And weirdly enough, it's almost got like a back garden of plains and forest area as far as the island goes out, all with like borders of mountains and hills, like as if it's like got a back garden that they use mountain range for its fences.
Damn, that's just a bit over the top, really. But alright, I guess I'll get those coordinates for outside the city.
Okay.
But before we leave, I'll open up the pocket dimension, pull out the glove, and go. Oh, Pinky, it's probably best you do the pocket dimension.
Okay. Are you going to separate them like you said?
Yep. As I'll walk in, I'll put my hands together and then basically pull them apart, and as I do, I'll create the two separate rooms. I believe I need a 20 or above to do this. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh.
1 point up. Yep.
Yeah. So the rooms are now half the size that they originally were. So now each room is, I think, 25 meters by 25, because they were 50 by 50.
Well, you didn't have two separate things. Also, they would have been 50 by 50, but remember, your range is increased.
Yes.
So it'd be
it's
100 by
100.
100. So they've now been 50 by
now
50.
they're 50 by 50. Yeah. So I do that, and I'll put her in the room with all the cool stuff in.
Okay. So there's just a blank one that you use as your quote-unquote main one that you would...
Yeah, that's my front. Actually, I'll put my sword in it, so it looks like I'm keeping stuff in it.
Okay.
And my guns and stuff. So it just looks like I'm using it for like weaponry and things.
Okay, so your weapons are in the front room, and then the back room
Yeah.
you'd actually have to access to. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep, you do that.
Alright. Everyone ready to go? Anything else we want to do?
By the way,
I don't think so.
by the way, Fletcher, you're given clothes by one of the Historians Guild that you now have just Historians Guild robes on.
Hell yeah!
Because at least
Very
you're no
nice.
longer covered in tatters.
Alright. I guess I'll go up to it and I'll activate the big shiny portal.
You do so, and you walk through it. Does everyone walk through it all at the same time together?
Holding
Yeah.
hands, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So you go through the portal again, like the flash of white, and it's almost like a tunnel of this strange aura and energy, almost like this strange neon cave just flashing around you, and eventually it opens up, and you're now standing on what seems to be a large metal, almost artificial plating on the outskirts of what seems to be like a country road. As you all turn around, you see two guards standing in front. They're beautifully armoured in this golden sort of special-like armour. And they're standing in front of this ginormous city made of gold and plating and all of this incredible stuff. And it looks like a giant bowl all the way around, like a massive wall going all the way around. It is enormous. And there's two guards stood out front of this massive door.
I'll just throw the animite glove back into my pocket dimension.
They both look at each other, look back at you.
Guess we should go and talk to the friendly people here.
Yeah.
You are following the royal decrees. No, I'm not following the royal decrees. What are you doing? All right. And they sort of straighten up. No, you are following the royal decrees. No, you are following the royal. No. Okay, right. I got it. Okay.
Hey, Fletcher, is it me? Or does he kind of sound like Fergus?
You then walk up to them.
Do.
You are standing before the great city of Matrata. If you stand any further, you will be considered an enemy or an ally, depending on your answers. We have questions for you at the gate. Please answer immediately upon the question being asked. First, what are your intentions here?
I heard there's some really cool, strong people here, and also I'm looking for someone with resurrection abilities.
You have looked here for combat and resurrection. Is this correct?
Yes.
Second question. Amongst you, are any of you considered non-humans or non-humanoids, such as anthropials or Huskonians?
None of us standing here, no.
Final question. Do you wish to bring any kind of disheartening news to any of the council members, or even any kind of destructive beliefs or practices within our walls?
No. No, we don't.
Then in that case, we must ask of one last thing. Who is the considerably leader of your group, and what may they be bringing to our establishment, known as the Kingdom of Matrata?
Guys, who is the leader?
I think it's Felix.
Felix?
Don't throw me under the bus.
Bus!
I mean, you're the head of the group.
I mean, I can do it if you want, man. It's up to you.
You brought us here.
Okay, that's it.
We're following your lead at the moment.
Alright, cool. I guess I am, and I'm a multiversal traveler from countless other universes. Well, I guess that's another multiversal travel, basically, from another universe. Technically an alien. I'm here to, I guess, bring my knowledge and strength here.
Knowledge and strength brought from another universe. Very well. One final question. They then grab their spears and point them at all of your group. Are any of you under those that claim to be of the Crucible of Avarice?
I think everyone here is. Wait,
not anymore.
Oh, well, except him. Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay, just the two of us then.
You are fighters of the Crucible of Avarice, and you wish to bring strength and knowledge to these rooms, doors, and within these walls.
Yes, however, I do not plan to attack people randomly. Only under safe conditions. That will not bring anyone else into harm except my opponent.
They both look at each other. Look back at you. Is this a lie?
No. Because, I mean, unless someone fights me in the streets without giving me a chance.
Yeah, fair.
and obviously he's gonna fight back, but he's not just gonna walk up to someone in the streets and fucking yeet them through a building. Unless they pissed him off.
Your individual, who has claimed to be the knowledger and the leader of your group, has claimed a statement that is not considered a lie. Due to this, we will allow you within these doors under one particular requirement.
Which is?
The condition that must be met is that you must now consider yourself an intellectual or a combatant.
Can I be both?
Out of the two, which would you claim yourself to be?
That's a difficult one, guys. I'm really smart. Like, I'm definitely the smartest one here.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more of a combative.
You pride yourself on your strength.
Yes.
Then by the royal decree, the council decree, and even by the decree of the angel council, you must fight someone as a test of combat to prove your worth within these city walls.
Question, are the council and the angel council two separate things or the same thing?
Do not backchat the royal guards.
That was just a question.
I mean, he is an alien, so he would have no knowledge of this.
Yeah, I don't get your cultures.
Silence yourselves.
Now they're starting to sound like Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a fight as usual.
I guess so. I mean, I can't say I'm complaining.
Yeah.
They then say that you must wait, as they will inform someone who will be then brought to you.
Man, we should really bring card games or something in these occasions.
I mean, hey, do you have any board games in your... No, wait, no.
No, I don't, sadly. I really should. I'll make sure to stock up on some while we're here. So that we got the good stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else would. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to do. I guess we'll just have to stand here in silence and wait.
Stand here, stay calm, just build up stockpile.
I mean, we could always observe the wildlife that's out here on the outside.
Or, hear me out, we could be children here, and see who can stare at the sun for the longest.
No.
That's a great idea! Okay, beat you to it!
Alright.
Sorry. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the perfect no?
Yeah.
That was the perfect no that you just used there. Or we could stare at the sun.
Spoke.
No.
No.
It was perfect
Spoken
timing,
like a
perfect level of tension. It just rolled perfectly. It just, oh man, that was without a doubt the greatest no.
I wish to roll perception.
Okay, roll perception, I guess.
We'll see who's higher, and they'll be the winner.
Cool. How can I cheat in this situation? Give me a second.
Wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Put little blades of energy in front of your eyes, just so.
I was thinking of that. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use energy manipulation to give me.
Or you could pinch
shades.
Fletcher, just make him blink.
Yeah, but he's undead.
He doesn't feel pain,
Yeah.
He could very well blind himself in his other eye, but he'd still have super wisdom through that crystal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat and make energy shades.
Of course, a natural 20.
Are you even in your I was gonna say.
I am in my transformation state because I transformed, didn't I?
Oh yes, no, I let you that one be the natural 20.
With that other natural 20, not like the.
Yeah, the other one, not this one.
You create like energy, like basically like almost energy cucumbers over your eyes to make it look like
Yep.
you know, just very
I'm
colorful.
definitely. You got this, Fletcher.
Fletcher,
Fletcher just closes the weak eye.
I would like you to roll me
Endurance.
I'd like you to roll me an endurance.
No.
All this is going on, Felix is just like breathing in and out, simple breathing exercises, trying to build stockpile.
Avarice!
You have blinded your remaining other eye. Like, so your normal eye is now blinded in this way. Anarche, what was the D20 for?
I don't know.
It was for the shades, wasn't it?
No. The shades was
no.
I don't need to roll it, do I? Because
no, because you're blocking them out with energy.
Yep.
Yeah. So you might as well delete that.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yep.
Oh no, I can't see out my eye anymore.
So I will say the blinding will not be permanent, but it will be for a while. So you're blind in that eye, but the other eye is fine. Because obviously it's a crystal. Like
Anarche hasn't realised you've stopped staring at the sun because he can't see you, so he's like, yep, you still got this.
Fletcher turns to Aldous. Aldous, I can't see out of my eye. Can you fix it?
Aldous is
Aldous.
dead, apparently.
No, Aldous is
Aldous
there.
is-
Aldous is just contemplating the decisions he's made in life in recent years.
I mean,
Quite recently.
God,
same.
God, help your disciple out.
I can't. You
They are blind
saw
and you must
that I cannot
help them
heal you.
see. Clearly, you must show them the way.
Point me towards Adamite.
oh dear, I kind of share Aldous' like disdain at this point.
I didn't say just Dan. More just
You didn't have
Wondering.
to.
We're just wondering why Animate has brought me here to this point. There must be some reason.
I mean,
There must be
sometimes-
some.
Done this to me.
sometimes
There
I
must.
could- Go on.
No, I was
Damn
just.
it, I think you won.
I did? Oh, I undo the energy on my eyes. I mean, of course I did. I'm really good at this game.
roll me insight with disadvantage, but you still get your like massive modifier. Yeah, roll me insight, Fletcher. Disadvantage
Insight.
again.
Okay. Oh, disadvantage, but still.
Yeah, but still with all of your super
Yeah.
dank ass modifiers. Where is it? 6 plus the 9.
Fitting.
You definitely you don't know how, but you're pretty damn sure he cheated.
I'm not gonna insinuate you cheated because I have no proof, and I actually feel like you're a pretty stand-up guy, but I just can't help but feel that way.
Yeah, but how would I cheat? Apart from, like, close my eyes, but that wouldn't work.
Yeah, you probably did it legit.
Yeah. Man,
So
they're
what next?
taking a sweet-ass time getting here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I get signal here. I'm gonna pull out my phone.
Do you have
Do
any
I have-
games on your phone?
No, not really. I just have music.
Fair enough.
Eventually, the gates open,
No.
and it begins. Someone begins walking out. As you see an individual walking towards you. You notice something very peculiar about this individual. As they walk out, you notice that they have wings protruding out of their back, made out of darkness, pitch black darkness. As this individual walks out, they hold up their hands by their side and greet you. They are wearing some interesting sort of like clothing that makes it look like as if it's like a gi, but it's actually got like armor plating on certain parts, like on the shoulders, and also on the side. Welcome. This must be the individual that wishes to enter the domain of the angels. Greetings. What might your name be?
My name is Anake. Pleasure to meet you.
It is indeed a pleasure to meet someone from another universe. I'm afraid that not many other angels wished to see someone such quantifiably dangerous information. However, we do not shun those of our own kind away so easily. So, nevertheless, we welcome you, so long as, of course, you can best one of us in combat.
Oh, there's more of you here?
There are. This city is full of Omegans and powerful beings, superhuman, human, anomalies, and of course Omegans. We do not expect anyone else within your group to be of any other kind other than that. We have been made aware, however, that one of your individuals in your party may be under a different effect.
Oh, yeah, he's dead. So just point to Fletcher.
Hi, I'm dead.
Hi, Dad. I'm Dad.
Hey, nice one.
Nevertheless,
Will that be a problem?
no, you do not have to worry about that. You do not need to concern yourself with something so trivial. We understand that you are here to be healed, and therefore, what else could we possibly want? It is of the angel's duty to heal mankind. So, we are indeed welcoming of you. My name is Dariel, Angel of Darkness. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Anake, along with your party. You and
Hello, I am Fletcher Matatame.
He
Sorry,
then
I
looks
thought
at
you
you
wanted
with like sharp eyes.
I thought he was wanting everyone to introduce himself.
No.
You and I
That's
are
just
going to
scratching
have.
up
He then just looks at you again like with this most serious stare.
That's scary.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Looks back at you like, if that happens again. He looks back at you and then says, you and I are going to have a little contest of combat. It does not matter whether or not you win or lose, but it matters whether or not you are able to match up to our expectations. I have been sent out to make sure that you are pure in your intentions. So you and I will be the only ones within the confines of this combat. Do you accept the terms of this agreement?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Then in that case, let us begin. And this is where we shall end our session.
Sorry.
I feel like that's like the first dad joke Felix has really made.
I think
It's the first one he's officially made.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's accidentally made several, but
I mean, you've made some like meta. I don't think you've made any actually like in character. So that, you know what? That's the first one that we've heard.
Yeah. How much XP do I get for it?
We'll get to that later.
How much XP for being a dad?
Yep.
The next,
Truly a fatherly amount.
the next episode, we shall see if Anarche is going to be, indeed the one to face against Dariel, the Angel of Darkness, to gain entry to the city of Matrata, also known as the Divine City. Tune in next time on the Dev Plays The Crucible Avarice. Don't forget to check, like, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful night.
Bye.
How many T-berries were there?
Only a few.
Yeah, only like
Yeah.
two.
Two berries this time!
2 berries, that means 2 Deleu. I'm going to stop the stream now.